First of all, I would like to thank you for having me. It's an honor to be able to come and speak and tell my story, and especially for my hometown. When I was in Delaware, I used to do this quite often, and I haven't done it in a while. So I'm so glad to be able to come and share my story. Again, my name is Heidi Yancey, born and raised in Delaware, Newark, Delaware. And I am Delaware's first, as you can say, African American ballerina. And I started dancing at the age of 5 years old in Newark at a studio called the Newark Ballet Studio. And my mother was an opera singer, and my father was a quartet singer. So they were very much so in the arts. They were not dancers, but they were very much so in the arts. And my family is a well-known singers throughout the tri-state area as well. As I was on a tour, I came home, and my mother ended up passing away with breast cancer, and it was very devastating to me. And so I took off for about 2 years. After the 2 years, my family said that you need to get back to the community and you need to open doors up for these other little Black girls. And I said, well, what am I going to do? I'm about to go back on the road. And they said, open a school. And so I decided to open the school. And it's Heidi's Academy of the Performing Arts. And I thought I printed only 50 applications, and it was 200 at the door. And when we opened the school excelled. And as a couple of years went by, I ended up choreographing for Chaka. And I remember coming home one day, and I told my sister, I was sitting in the lobby, and I said, I don't feel so good. And she said, well, go to the hospital. And I said, well, I just said I don't feel good. I'm going to go home and lay down. She said, no, go to the hospital. Well, when I said, okay, I'll go. Well, when I stepped into the hospital, now I'm at the prime of my life, in top shape. The doctors began to go crazy. They came in with all these tubes and everything, and nothing was working but my heart. All of my organs shut down. And that was on a Friday. By the time Sunday, they said that I will be gone by Sunday. And because I was pretty well known, they already had announced on the television show that I was gone, I was dead. People from families and friends were filled the hospital up with people and expecting me to die. And they also contacted Chaka to let her know. Chaka Khan called Max Johnson's doctor, and he wanted to treat me, fly me out to California, but I was too sick to get on the plane. And they said, well, we're going to send her some herbs. And so then when they got me, they sent a powder. Back then, herbs were not even popular with that like they are now. You couldn't even get them like you can now, like cumin, ginger, and turmeric. Um, and so like a vitamin or a powder, or it was very expensive. So they sent the medicine to me and pumped it into my system. By Sunday, I opened my eyes and everybody rejoiced, thanking the Lord. Well, I stayed in the hospital for about 3 weeks, but my journey just started then. I decided to tell them to just let me go home because they didn't understand what was wrong with me, and just to go home and pass away. And so I said I would rather pass away in my home. Then they sent me home. So I stayed like that. I would be mobile sometimes, but I was very weak, in lots of pain, not knowing what was going on. For a minute, they said it was lupus. They said it was lupus for a good while until it became multiple sclerosis. That my muscles were deteriorating. At times, I would be walking, and then some days I'm not. Losing mobility in my hand. My thought process would come in and out. Muscle pain, and I suffered for a long time, um, up and down. And the doctors, just could not figure out what was going on with me. They understood it was the MS. However, they felt like it was some other things going on as well, but they couldn't really put their finger on it. So what I started to do was I was on 24 pills a day there. And so I decided that I would wean myself off the pills and stay on going the holistic way. I saw a doctor in Dover, and he was Dr. Brown, and she began to treat me. She put my feet in a bucket of water one time. They put all these herbs in the bucket. And after 45 minutes, it looked like a sore. And she said, that is all the poison in your body. And then, of course, she was saying that, I wouldn't be, there's a possibility that I might not make it. And my muscles were just practically just nothing. They were deteriorating really bad and really quickly. But she said that she just felt like, with her treatment, that I can live. Oh, that I'm glad you said breathing and meditation. I did that a lot too. Breathing, and I do that as a dancer. See, it's natural for me, so it comes natural. So I will always. That's where the yoga is coming in at, where I do all the breathing and the meditation. My
Oh,
meditation is to God. Everybody has a different meditation to whoever, whatever, right? So mine is to
yes.
God, and also, and I do that when I'm doing yoga. Um, I was gonna say a lot of people don't understand like that yoga is something to the body as well. I also do hot yoga. I do hot yoga maybe once a month. I was taking it here maybe twice, maybe two, three times a month. But normally I do the hot yoga, opens up your pores, gets all rid of the dot. It's amazing in hot yoga. That is a really good another thing. Oh, I remember I used to do hot yoga when I was in Delaware too. I would go. It was on Conquer Pike, and they have one studio that has that, and that's good for people who are suffering with muscular diseases and any type of disease. Yeah.
Now let me ask you this. When you say yoga, what do you mean? Because I tried the yoga class, but I couldn't keep up. Um,
Well, you probably too. It's probably too advanced for you. So then, so you have to find a beginner one. Then just start small. You got to find the right one, right teacher, because when you're doing your yoga stretches and all that, um, if you're not able to do it, the teacher should be okay. It's okay, and modify it to your body. So um,
it was easier for everybody else, but I
yeah.
think being born with sickle cell,
Oh
like
yeah.
certain people have had hip replacements, or the
Mhm.
muscles may not be as strong, and so like certain she had to help everybody in the class, and most people were able to do it. I just wasn't able. But when you say hot yoga, is that another kind of yoga, or is it like similar?
Yeah, it's called oh my God, it's not called hot yoga. It's a name for it. And what it is, it's a type of yoga that does healing for tissues and muscles. So say you had like sprain, I don't know, ankle or any type of muscle tendon, something split, it repairs those muscles. I didn't even I had no idea. And it did that for me on my left knee. I had started taking hot yoga. Well, first of all, I was told to take it when the MS was there, and it helped me there. And then I kind of got away from it when I moved to Florida, and I remembered. And then I went in and I asked the teacher. She said, "Yes, it repairs hot yoga repairs split tissues, muscles that are maybe starting to deteriorate, have any type of muscular problems or diseases." And I was like, what?
And isn't it's considered hot yoga because of the heat in the room? Or
Yes, right.
that's what I thought.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
do
Because of
have
the
they
heat.
do have some classes here, but like she was saying, you need to find a place that do beginner classes.
Mm-hmm. And you
Because
Yeah.
I
can,
do yoga. The
call
first time
now.
I went, I could not do anything, and I just kept saying, "I'm a big girl. I can't do it. I can't."
Oh no, you got it. My
But
daughter,
however, I've
my
I've learned that I can do more than I thought I could. So
right.
it
My
just it's a thing where you just got to go
at your own pace.
practice,
Yeah,
and
own pace.
eventually your body will just start doing what you're trying to get it to do. But it does take time, and it takes patience, because I
Right.
used to be like, I'm not gonna I can't see how I'm gonna ever be able to do this. I
Yeah.
literally used to say that now. And she'd be like,
So
girl, nope, you keep coming, you just watch, you'll be able to. So, and she was absolutely right, because I had started doing things right. Actually I went in self-defeated, right?
yeah.
But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway, I started to be able to do things that she said eventually with time I would be able to do it, because I just became persistent and I just kept going. Actually, I started back because I had stopped going, and because my back had started bothering me. And I was like, I'm going back to yoga, because then I
Yeah.
didn't have any kind of issues.
Yes.
So it really is a
Healer.
thing to get involved in. And they really do say, do it at your pace. Do
Yes.
what your body can do.
Yes.
So it's not like they're forcing you to do what everybody else is doing. And if it's a beginner's class, they'll show you what the beginners do. And then they'll show what the advanced people do.
Right.
And you choose what's best for you.
Right.
Heidi, we want to thank you for joining us. Does anybody else have any questions for her before she?
I see in the chat, I want to tell you real quick. My daughter was just diagnosed with breast cancer. She's 28. I mean, she's 30 now. She had diagnosed at 28. Make a long story short, we went to a breast cancer association program, conference, and they had the hot yoga. And all those women in there that had breast cancer was taking it, and they talked about the importance of hot yoga for ones that have breast cancer. So that I'm telling you, it's a good thing. But I see somebody in the chat, somebody asked me, did I go through depression?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wouldn't say depression, but did I go through it mentally? Yes, I did. But prayer, church kept me going. It was times when I stopped going to church. I didn't want to because I looked really sick. I went through all that. But I had always a surrounding of good spiritual people.
Does everybody know what holistic wellness is? Does anybody know what holistic wellness is?
I know that my brother wants to practice it, but I don't know the in-depth details about it.
Okay, so that's kind of the thing that like we're gonna go through, like I said, a series. So holistic wellness is the understanding that your physical health, emotional state, and mental clarity and spiritual connection all influence one another, right? Whereas today, most folks believe when they're practicing medicine that, or that are patients feel like they need a pill to actually heal themselves. When a lot of times our body was created to heal itself. Now, do we do the right things to do that? Probably, most of us probably not. So what I'm hoping that we get out of this is to see all the connections. When one area is neglected, the others can struggle. So if there's something wrong with our spirit, our mind, our mental health, our physical health, then we're not connected. In ourselves, we're not on the same page. When each is nourished, we could feel more grounded, we could feel more resilient, and we could feel aligned. Holistic health encourages preventive care, lifestyle awareness, and mindful living. And we've talked a lot about mindfulness on our TOVA talks. And and with that being said, if people, even with that, you have to understand the connection between mind, spirit, and body. And so rather than seeking quick fixes, it focuses on building habits and supporting lasting vitality. And that's what we want, right? So thank you all for joining us. Have a blessed rest of your month. And hopefully you got something out of today's session. And you know that my phone line is always open, so feel free to call me. Have a great day, y'all.